for like 2 to 3 minutes. That's what I'm saying. He's like, it was 158 for like 2 to 3 minutes when it's not even 158. Anyways,
Live.
y'all, I am not okay. Because that was weird. By the way, it's a digital lock. It's not analog. The computer terminal said the same thing. I'm sorry, but when you work retail, I feel like you just know every single minute that passes by. And this poster in particular, the reason the story is so fascinating to me is that she seems so genuinely rattled by it. Look, could she have maybe misread her watch? I guess so. That would pretty much be the only logical explanation here if she's positive that all of these things took more than a minute, which it just, again, sounds like logically it would. But I don't know. She seems so freaked out by it, and I think that freaks me out more. This isn't the kind of content that this poster makes, like, at all, by the way. So I really want to know what you guys think. Did she experience a time glitch where time just stood still for a full minute? Or was this something else? And if it was something else, what was it? The next video comes from professional chit chatter who was just getting ready one day when suddenly her earring fell out. But when she picked the earring up, the back was still on it. Like, I'm in the middle of doing makeup right now, and my earring just dropped into my makeup and it really been attached to my ear for like 30-40 minutes. It fell in my makeup bag and was back in my ear saw. I wish the back's not on, so I took it out and it literally looks just like this. Like, I downloaded new Amazon stuff last week for $10.99 next time you use that.
Carl never really felt much of a credit score. Until he got credit cards and used the score to score more. Life is less humble to both. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on. Download the
Up the shade area. Oh, not the shade area. I'm just darkening out where the scars are.
Up to 60% off outdoor furniture. Up to 70% off fitness. And more exclusive warm-up deals. Plus, more free shipping on everything. Who is a big step? Wayday starts April 26th. So mark your calendar. Extra still in the car.
Anyone's in the chat? Hello?
Okay. Some people in the comments, because I posted about this TikTok on TikTok, some people were saying maybe her ears were torn, like her actual earlobes were torn or something. I just think she would have realized, like, that would not have been the first time that happened if her ears were torn. Also, some other people saying that maybe she didn't actually get it on the ear, like maybe she put it in her hair or something. I don't know. Again, kind of similar to our last poster, I just feel like when people seem genuinely rattled over something, like when they believe they genuinely have a glitch in the matrix, it just always kind of makes me look a little bit harder. And with this one, it's creepy. I don't know. I probably didn't have the same reaction. Like, don't get me wrong. I definitely, like, looped a necklace around my neck, and it fell off later, because I didn't actually get the necklace, like, through the little clasp thing. But this is different. This is like an earring. I don't know. I'll stop harping on this one, but it did creep me out. So the next two videos come from a user named Sweet Face Jim 86. She captioned us, I just experienced an actual glitch in the earring. And I just got spooked. And I don't usually do a video like this, but I literally just have to I can talk. Just stop right on. I'm going to show you through. This poster has ring camera footage of her glitch in the matrix, so stay tuned until the end. Our poster woke up this morning feeling particularly exhausted. She goes to a morning workout, she literally comes home, she goes back to sleep. She's like, why did I get so tired? Like, what has exhausted me like this? And she realizes she had started a new anxiety medication and taken it at like 9 p.m. the night before. And so she's like, okay, I probably need to take this earlier on in the evening so I get a better night's sleep, a fuller night's sleep, and you'll wake up feeling so exhausted. And when you know it, she uses her phone to set an alarm for herself for 7 p.m. every single day so that she can take her medication on time. However, when she sets the alarm, her phone does something really weird.
Guys, I'm gonna show you proof of this. So I'm sitting reading breakfast, watching videos, right? And I go, hey, you know, honey, I will set a daily alarm for 7 p.m. That's all I said, right? She comes back and says to me, and I'm gonna show you the proof. She says, a 7 p.m. alarm for your anxiety pill has been set. I didn't say what the alarm was saying. I didn't even say it out loud. This is all an internal dialogue that I was having. No one is here. I'm going to freaking show you, like, because the thing came up at the top. Look. So like I said, I was watching videos. So I was watching this lady's video about, you know, the gossip, whatever. And look what it says. Look at that. Now, look at how I'm going to say, oh, you Photoshop that. Watch this. So this photo, for some reason, I have to crop it because when it's big, you can't see the top. So watch this. Look at the Siri bubble right here. Because she just spoke it to me.
Set a daily alarm for 7 p.m. Now, this video really freaks me out. Not so much for the glitch in the Matrix part of it, which she experiences a second glitch in the Matrix that she posted about after this video, so I definitely think something's going on for her. But the reason it freaks me out to that is, like, if your phone just hacked in, does your phone just somehow know that she started this new anxiety medication because of emails and, I don't know, like fake statements and whatever, and just knew to set this alarm for this anxiety medication? She responded to so many people's comments giving her rational explanations for this. And every single time she's like, you don't understand, I didn't have this alarm set before, I just started taking this medication. Like, this is weird, this is not like an explainable thing. And I believe her, but again, when people have conviction about these kinds of things, when they just know, I tend to get locked in, call me a sucker, but with this one, I don't know, she just doesn't make content like this really, it's just really out of the norm, so that happened. So she's responding to people after she posted this video earlier in the day. And while she's doing this, she's just hanging out in her house, and she has another glitch in the Matrix. At this point, whether if I'm doing this for attention, or if I'm doing this to be viral, but I promise you this is the case. I swear that this is not, like, if I had not caught her, I'm able to show you again on camera, you would think she's both just like the previous video. She's making her videos in response to those comments about this glitch in the Matrix she had, when suddenly she hears a fly buzz past, and she has ring camera footage of this as well. And she explains she hates flies, so she always has a fly swatter on hand. I actually completely relate to this. I invested in an electric fly swatter, and it's one of the best purchases I've ever made, except I've lost the charger like 4 times, and it's been so fun. Anyway, the poster explains that everything in her home has a place. She very clearly is like a very neat, organized person. She knows exactly where her fly swatter should be. But when she gets up, it's not there.
There's something going on. There's a glitch in the Matrix. I don't know what is it, the 16th or the 17th. I don't know what this date has to do with anything, but something is going on. This is not my type of content. I don't talk about conspiracy theories. I don't talk about Matrix. That's not my thing. That's not my dream. So I keep a fly swatter right through the kitchen, right behind that. Wait, you can do that wall, right? So when you walk, you get up to go get it. Now, there should be no reason that fly swatter is not there. I clean up my house every night, every day. It's just where it goes. I'm in charge. Everything is in this place. And as you can see, my house is quiet. There's just a little bit of noise coming to the table because of the nail or whatever, okay? I go to get the fly swatter. Notice that it's not there. I was just about going to my bedroom because I'm like, where else could it be? Did I try to swat a fly last night in my room? Which I know I did not. Because I would not go to bed without crazy. And it's on the corner of my eye, right there. I see the flash water. Mind you, I had just been sitting right there. And it was not there. I know it was good. Like that was not there. Okay.
He's flying.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I didn't see you. No, I didn't see you, chat. I wasn't paying attention on my phone. Sorry.
Look, and like the kind of chaos of the
Well, it's
morning
okay.
could just have just
But
slipped
hello.
out of the corner of her
How are
eye.
you? I
Maybe
was
lost my
not.
vacuum penis was literally
I hope
like
you're
an
not paying
hour.
attention to
I'm
chat.
so
Did it
used to being in the spot in my bedroom, like blending into all of these other
upset
things.
anyone?
I just couldn't find it for literally weeks. I don't think that's that abnormal, and it was literally my bedroom. Like I surely walked by it like 15 times every single day while searching for my vacuum. But this one, like the fly sweater looks pink. Again, this is like an item that she clearly uses on a regular basis as well. And if she had realized it was right there, she just obviously would use it when she saw the fly. So I don't know about these stories. Do you think it was a glitch in the Matrix? Do you think we just have some weird things going on with technology and the fly swatter thing was just a coincidence?
Thank
I think
you.
the poster, her simulation was kind of just glitching out a little bit, but let me know what you guys think. We get this talk from Margot Ross, who put out a request for Glitch in the Matrix stories. And her and she gave us a Glitch in the Matrix story of her own. This story comes from Spooker's mother, and her experience is what almost seems like a timeline glitch, but with tangible proof that was left behind from the experience. I really want to hear all of your Glitch in the Matrix, unexplainable, weird stories, because they're fascinating. I'm going to say that between episode 1 and perhaps 10 of them, this is my mom. She was driving from Atlanta to North Carolina in the middle of the night. She was on the phone with my grandma, and my grandma is helping her over maps, because my mom is running a block and she's camping with it. She's in the middle of nowhere, okay? Finally, over the hill, she sees a beautiful gas station. So she pulls in, she pumps her gas into the car, and then she goes to walk in to pee before she leaves. So she's walking towards the door, and as she gets to the door, her mom calls her and goes, "You know, gas station." And I was like, "No, I'm at a gas station. It was my car. You know, see it?" She said, "No, your car's still parked in the middle of nowhere. Where are you?" And she said, "I'm out at the gas station." And as she's saying that, she goes to pull the door, and it's locked. And she looks up, and there's a poster.
No.
She says, "Oh, I just got gas station."
Good night
She turns around.
and sleep tight.
Everything's dead. No lighting, no people, no cars, bars on the windows, boarded up windows, a completely abandoned gas station. It makes me feel like I followed him in different directions. She speeds off, gets on the interstate, completely weirded out, looks at her gas tank, her gas is full. She got gas at this moment
Bye.
gas station. It's not on her credit card history, nothing. They go back, look on maps, there's no gas station there. Never figured it out. Anyway, the fact that there was gas in her car. Explain how there was gas in her car. If it had been an abandoned gas station, I'm sure her mom would have noticed before she started pumping gas. Like, this is just so weird to me. And this actually trips me out because it almost feels like a video game taking pity on you. Like, stick with me here. Imagine you are playing a video game. Imagine you're in The Sims and you're driving your car and your car can run out of gas. You, as the person like controlling The Sims, you're like, oh dang, they need a gas station. So you just like pop one in right quick. But then once it served its purpose, it's just gone. Was it that? Was it just a timeline glitch where she timeline and into an alternate one where she can get gas and would it be stranded on the side of the road? I don't know. But what's really interesting is I actually have a second gas station story for you. This story comes from Real Life Ghost Stories, who says that she found the following story on the 14 Times forum from an anonymous poster. And she just tells the story so well. So I'm going to let her tell you the full thing, and then I'll speak back.
Building your online business? Go to Wix.com and set up your store on a single integrated platform. Add products. Showcase them
Oh
dynamically.
my god.
And
Cannot stop
seamlessly
popping
track
up
your inventory.
on my phone.
Accept multiple secure payments.
Our original poster stayed anonymous, but back in the early 90s, he was like 18, 19 years old and was working in a summer job. Now in this job, him and his colleague used to take a work van and they would drive the same route every single day. So it was a stretch of road through a forest, completely straight, thick forest on either side. They did it every day, multiple times a day. So this one day, they are driving back to their work building through this straight stretch of road in the forest, and they realised they're out of gas. And they decided, look, why don't we go and see how far we get. And
I will be
if
paying
we
social
go, we
snaps.
will call for you.
So give me a
At
moment.
the time, the band was not on the radio, and they reached this stretch of road, and the radio could stop working, a black spot. And on the right-hand side of the road, they noticed that there's this shed, this corrugated iron, flat roof shed that they've never seen before, with a handwritten sign that just says gas. So they're like, weird, we've never seen this before, but also great. So the parents didn't really think that was silly. They were kind of like, oh, how weird is it that we've driven this road every day and we haven't seen this gas station before? But they thought because it was so mundane and so normal, they just didn't register it in their brain. So the original poster goes into this corrugated iron shed. I mean, clearly he's never seen it in horror film. But he goes in and he calls out hello. Eventually this little man in his 60s appears and he's sort of short, he's round, he's wearing trousers tied by a pair of braces and a flannel shirt. He has these really thick Coke bottle glasses and like a Greek fisherman's hat. The original poster is like, no, I'm into gas. The guy who's put out by the whole thing. So he's fumbling around, getting his keys, he's mumbling in Swedish. He goes out and he's sort of rocking from side to side, constantly watching the two men. And the two guys are like, this is the weirdest thing that's ever happened. So they fill up with gas, and as they're driving away, they look in the rearview mirror, and the man is standing on the side of the road, sort of waving both hands in the air at them. And they're like, that was such a strange encounter. By the time they get back to their workplace, the van is on its last legs. It's sputtering, it's smoking, things are not looking good. So the work mechanic reckons that they either put petrol or diesel into the van, but they shouldn't have, and he's like, right, we need to cycle it out. So they cycle it out, but what comes out is sweet and smells like turpentine. And the mechanic looks at it and he goes, well, this is wartime gasoline. Where did you get this? Wartime gasoline was basically this sort of crude concoction that was used during wartime when people didn't have enough fuel, and it wouldn't make the car run efficiently, but it would make the vehicle run. So the two guys say, well, we saw that gas station on the road, and the mechanic is like, what gas station? There's no gas station on that road. There never has been. An original poster describes this moment as being like a bubble burst. The two friends, the two work colleagues, and suddenly like, we don't ever remember there being a gas station on that road. They went eventually, drove up and down the road. There was no sign of a gas station, no sign that there ever had been a gas station there. And in later life, the original poster was still really perturbed by this whole story, and he did some research. There never was a gas station there. But one of the really amazing things about the story is that he physically kept the receipt. This strange man in this strange gas station had handwritten a receipt and given it to him, and he put it into his wallet. So he knew that he had physically been there. That fuel was put into the van somehow. But there was no evidence of there ever being a gas station there. So was it a matrix? Was it a time slip? Was it a step into the alternate universe? Why did the radios black out on that stretch of road? Who knows?
Like, was that not eerily similar to the last TikTok that we talked about with the gas station? Again, these two people seem to have glitched out of reality into some kind of alternate universe where they could get what they needed to get home. The fact that it was wartime gas, like, you can't just buy that. You cannot just go buy wartime gas. Like, that's not like a thing you can just do. It kind of makes sense, too, if they did slip out of their own timeline and into another one, that the guy who was, like, helping them would have been really confused and taken aback by such, like, a futuristic-looking car. Because to me, what this seems like is that they went back in time. Or maybe to another reality where there's currently some kind of war in that area. I don't know. Stories like these past two, Will, I just don't understand how that could possibly be explained. Especially in this one, just no gas station there, no gas station ever in that area. Anyway, on to your next TikTok.
If you've never experienced a glitch in the Matrix, this is probably not the video for you. So just continue scrolling because you're going to think that I'm crazy.
This video comes from Lauren Ann 12-1 on TikTok, who has a childhood glitch in the Matrix to tell us about that haunts her to this very day. When Lauren is in 4th or 5th grade, her grandma would pick her up from school 2 to 3 times a week. She says her grandma lived nearby, they were super close. She's always going to her grandmother's home, walking through the woods to get there. They were just very, very close. She spent a ton of time in her childhood with her grandmother. And sometimes when her grandma would pick her up, they would go to Wendy's. And in Wendy's is where this poster experienced seemingly her very first glitch in the Matrix.
My grandma has very prominent blue eyes. It's crystal clear. It's a very prominent feature about my grandma. She has very blue, piercing, crystal blue eyes. So this one day, she picks me up. We go to Wendy's. We're sitting in the glass area. If you know Wendy's back then, then you know what I'm talking about. We're sitting there eating our fries, and I look at my grandma, and my grandma has brown eyes. They're brown. And so naturally, I was like, Grandma, her eyes are brown. And she was like, yeah, Lauren, I have brown eyes. I said, Grandma, you don't. You have very blue eyes. What do you mean you have blue eyes? And she said, no, I have brown eyes. So whatever, she takes me home, and this is the whole thing. I talked to my mom. She's like, Mom, Grandma has brown eyes. And my mom was like, yeah, Grandma has brown eyes. No, she doesn't. She has blue eyes. What do you mean she has brown eyes? Like, everyone knows that Grandma has blue eyes, and everybody was making me believe that I was crazy. The next time that I see my grandma, 3 days later, my grandma has blue eyes again. And of course, I'm like, Grandma, your eyes are blue. Why are your eyes blue? And she's like, yeah, Lauren, I have blue eyes. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? We just had this conversation 3 days ago when you had brown eyes, and I told you that you have blue eyes, and you're telling me that you have brown eyes, but I know that you have blue eyes, and now that you have blue eyes again, you're telling me that you know you have blue eyes? I'm not crazy. This was not a dream. I did not dream this. This happened. I didn't make that up. Like, that was reality. I didn't miss a day. Like, this happened. Has anybody else ever experienced anything like that? With people's eyes changing colors, and they fully believe that their eyes were a different color. I'll never forget that.
Now, my first thought was, maybe the grandmother's putting colored contacts, and the mom went along with it to, like, confuse Lauren Ann. But also, did they not come clean about that all these years later? And it's clearly something that this poster still thinks about on a regular basis. Her grandma's known for these crazy blue eyes. One day they're suddenly brown, and then they're blue again, and everyone acts like she's the crazy one. That is not Lauren's only glitch in the Matrix story. It was just the one she wanted to tell first. So following this, she posted another video. This glitch is much more recent. It happened in her adulthood. One day, she leaves her house to go to the gym, and she has a full, productive day ahead of her. She gets in her car, she drives to the gym, she takes her car keys, and on her car keys is one of those little fobs that you use to, like, scan yourself into a gym. She does that, she works out, she leaves, she runs like 4 more errands, okay? She's having a full day and taking her car, which is important, to each location. Her car is one of those push-to-start So you don't have to like actually physically put the key in an ignition, but you do have to have the fob in the car. You can't start the car without the fob. So tell me why she gets home after this full day on errands and realizes her keys weren't in her car at all.
This was 3 different stops. I made 3 different stops. I had to ignite my car with my keys 3 separate times before I got home. I get home and I'm still sitting in the car and I can't find my keys anywhere to go unlock my house. Like, I'm looking everywhere. I'm looking through my gym bag, I'm looking in the back of the car. I cannot find my keys anywhere. They're gone. I can't. 20 minutes have passed. I'm looking for the keys. So then I'm just like, let me just go see if I left the door unlocked. I can just grab the dogs. My car is still running.
This fighter, the accountant too, is undeniably awesome. I think so too. We can burn off the perfect chemistry.
That's my big brother up there!
And it's better than the original in every way. The accountant too, radar.
Busy shoppers, want to spend less? Go to Aldi, number 1 in everyday low price.
Compton, focused and precision. Winning is not about getting it right just once. It's about performing consistently. Whether it's winning for the fences or just heading home after a big win, 3 and Kia is stepping up to the plate.
Right now, pay $32.50 on the new 2025 Kia Sportage, or pay $47.50 on the new 2025 Kia Sorento, or get 1.9% financing for up to 60 months on a new 2025 Kia Sportage or Sorento. And all month long, Freedom Kia is donating $50 to the Ronald McDonald House for every unit sold.
3 and Kia, Morgantown.
We started Warby Parker with a box of boxes. A prescription pair for $95 instead of $400. People thought we were crazy. Now we're rethinking the way people shop again. This time, in stores. Come by and see for yourself.
Let me just go grab the dogs and we can go on the walk and find them later. That even makes sense. So I walk up to my house and my keys are dangling from the lock of my house. Make it make sense. I had to physically use my keys to turn on my car 3 separate times before I got home to come get the dogs. But they were dangling in the lock of the house.
Okay, maybe there's a world where she has a spare key in her car she doesn't know about. That's how it was starting on its own without the keys in the car. How would she expand into the gym? How would she expand into the gym? That's so weird to me. It's almost like she glitched into a timeline where she'd already walked up to the door and put her keys in to unlock it. I don't know. This sister has some crazy stories. I actually literally sat there and scrolled through her entire account wondering if she had pulled any more, and I haven't seen any, but these two were really creepy.
Proof that we live in a simulation. I have literally found my simulation twin. Like, we were cut from the same cloth, made from the same template, whatever you want to call it, because she is living my life out in California.
Now, this video comes from Julia Wang, HBS, and she has a simulation twin. There's really just no other way to put it. And when I first heard that, I was like, okay, so you have someone in your life who lives an incredibly similar life to you. But just listen to these coincidences between her and her simulation twin, because I'm telling you, by the end of this, I was like, oh, you have a simulation twin.
Some background info. So I live in Houston, Texas. My simulation twin, her name is Caroline. She lives in California, and we've known each other for a while because we both grew up in Dallas, and so we have a lot of mutual friends. But it wasn't until recently where we discovered how similar and how eerily similar we are. So this is my family right here. I'm actually Korean, and I'm married to a Taiwanese man, and he is a tech entrepreneur. He started several tech companies, and he developed software. So our kids, we have 3 kids. They're obviously half Taiwanese, half Korean. I have Cameron. She is the oldest. She's 8 years old. Jordan, he is my middle child, and then my son Atlas, he is 11 years old. So this is Caroline's beautiful family, and Caroline
I'll be right back.
is Korean like I am.
I have to go grab something.
To a Taiwanese man who has
Okay, a drink.
and a lot of Asian parents, so that's not a cool deal. But she has 3 kids, and her oldest is a girl, and then it's followed by 2 boys, just like me.
and the age difference between her kids are the same as mine. So her daughter is named Charlotte. My daughter is named Cameron. Her middle son is named Jacob. My son is named Jordan. So yeah, it's not the same name, but it starts with the same letter. And then her youngest is named Chance. And while my son is named Atlas, she actually messaged me saying that Atlas was one of the names that they were considering because her son, her middle son, apparently likes maths a lot. And Atlas is not like a common name. Like no one I know is named Atlas. So the fact that she was considering that name is crazy. So we're both the oldest in our family. I have a sister. She has a brother. So my sister Nina, she went to Pratt Art School in New York. If you know Pratt, it's like a very small, hard to get into art school in New York. And her brother went to Pratt. So my husband is the only child, the golden son, and he unfortunately lost his father to cancer a couple of years ago. And my simulation twin, her husband is also the only child, and he lost his mother to cancer the same year. And we both drive a minivan, and not only just a minivan, but we drive the Toyota Pacifica hybrid minivan. And what's crazy is like I actually got this minivan as part of a collab with Driveway, so the fact that she owns that is crazy. To me, this is not a coincidence. Like, we have way too many similarities and very specific similarities, and I really feel like we were like made from the same template, character template for this simulation. But I don't know, call me crazy. What do you guys think?
How crazy is that? The same kids. The kids are what really got me. They both had a daughter and then two sons, and the first two kids for both of them had the same first letter of their names, and then their babies were almost named the exact same thing. It's literally almost like Julia can get a glimpse into an alternate reality, one where she doesn't live where she does, but she's instead gallivanting off in California, but also not because they live such similar lives, they have such a similar story. I don't know, this one was kind of sweet to me though. I think I'd like having a simulation twin, so I can just like peek in and see like an alternate version of my life. That reminds me, I really didn't mean to tell you guys about this, but have you been having the craziest dreams this year, or is it just me? Earlier this year, I had a dream where I met my soulmate in like an alternate plane of reality, where people link up with their soulmates in the astral realm so that they can get married later in life. If you didn't hear this story, you're probably like, whoa. If you did hear the story, you're probably still like, whoa. But stick with me here. So I had that dream. It was really vivid, and I still don't know whether or not that was a dream. But lately, I've been having even crazier ones where I will get a glimpse into an alternate life for myself. Like a life where, let's say, I stayed in college and never made a YouTube video. I will know as I have these dreams, not that I'm dreaming, but that I am not myself. I have all of the same people in my life. Well, sometimes. Sometimes people are like different things to me in the dream. My brother is always the same. My mom's always the same. My dad's always the same. Like my immediate family, always same cast of characters, if you will. But people around me will change. And I'll know in the dream, not that I'm dreaming, but I'll have this sense of like, it's okay, whatever happens here, I don't stay here. Literally like I'm going into an alternate universe of myself, living out a day as that person, and then waking up in my bed. And this has happened more than once. It's happened with me being a doctor, with me being a mom to like 3 kids. There was one reality where I could skateboard, and that was just my whole life was skateboarding. And if you know me, you know I'm the most uncoordinated human being on planet Earth. There's no way. Maybe I'm considering alternate realities when I sleep. I don't know. I've been telling everyone I know about this recently, and everyone has agreed that it's really weird. So I'm curious what you guys think about that. This video comes from Mad Hatter News, who reported an article titled, "Yet another person has found a precious missing object in a place it couldn't possibly be." Apparently, this is a phenomenon recently. Some people are coming out recently reporting that missing objects are being found in places that they couldn't have possibly been. And this is huge in news. Purely for fun section of the news, but they're saying there's a strange supernatural trend that's happening right now where people are suddenly finding precious lost objects in places that they had never been before. Like finding a lost ring their dad gave them years later in a random parking lot in a state they've never been to. Discovering photos of their own family in a thrift shop several states away. One woman's grandma gave her ruby earrings as a child, and she lost one of them as a child. She moved from Arizona to Alaska, and when she stepped out of the car in Alaska, she found these earrings as an adult in Alaska under her house. As an old, these people could very well be lying. I personally did.
I'm back with a
go to my
drink.
house and pretend. I don't care if it
Give me a
goes.
moment. I'm gonna pull chat on my phone.
And then I would find it in
Can't
random
check
places.
Madness
Some stories that
without
I
it.
haven't found, actually. You literally place it down, turn around, and it was gone. It's in the matrix, ghosts, who knows?
Okay, so I didn't miss anything in chat.
Now, if you lost something
Yay.
in your house and it turned up like 5 days later, I could understand that. Sometimes it can be a little unnerving, especially when you know you've looked in the place a million times, whatever. But a lot of these stories, like people finding family heirlooms in random parking lots, I don't know, that's really weird. And it was just in the like for fun section of this like website, but creepy nonetheless. If you guys watched my last video, you know that there's been a lot of
Okay, I'm
buzz
just
on
gonna
TikTok
end stream.
recently around New Orleans, specifically like the scary side of New Orleans. And this person's glitch is so unsettling.
You know, I'm just gonna end stream because I don't know how stable my internet's gonna be. So I'm ending stream because I think my internet is being highly unstable. I think my internet is being highly unstable, so I'm going to end stream. So sorry, but I'm ending stream because my internet is unstable, and I don't want stream to crash while I'm